Hey guys, welcome back to the game room and welcome back to the second channel, Locksness Collections. So instead of doing another game room tour, and I do like doing those, but I wanted to break this up a little bit, I want to start doing something different on this channel just called Random Shelfies. So what I'm going to do is once or twice a month just pick a different shelf at random and show you all the stuff that I have on it in my game room. So the first shelf that I picked is the one that blocks the window. I'm not super happy about it, but as a game collector and gamer, we all have this problem: space. So when you've got a small room and you start running out of shelves, you have to go up. So this week we're going to look at just this shelf and just the items that I have on this. Shelf number 1, storage. Shelf number 2, storage. Shelf number 3, a little bit of display. Shelf number 4, a little bit of display. And then the top shelf, let's say a little from column B, a little from column A. You know, it's for utility basically. And that is my shelfie. So come on down to the floor and join me for shelf number 1. Now on this shelf, it's mostly utility. It's a lot of storage, as most of these shelves are, especially on the bottom. I'm on the second floor of the apartment, so I never have to worry about flooding, so having things this low to the ground doesn't bother me. These are all just these flea market pickup, dollar, the old school handheld games. You know, most of them are very simplistic in functionality. If you remember from a flea market adventures last summer, we picked all those up for, I think, $1 or $2 each. I have all my Game Gear games in here, a few Game Boy Advance. These are obviously hack games. This is Mother 1, 2, and 3. A couple extra batteries. I keep all those in a case together. In the milk crate, which we will be doing eventually on this channel, these are all of my... Oh, I thought we pulled out a cooler issue. All of my Nintendo Powers. I have them in the order of issue, obviously not all of them. I probably have about 30 to 40, as well as some retro gamers in there, extra plastic bags, manuals, etc. Again, I keep them all in this milk crate just to keep them organized and off the floor. Also, random junk that I picked up from flea markets. This is a Transformers Dark of the Moon Bumblebee. Captain America. Kind of looks like a G.I. Joe playset, comes with a big Jeep. Another tub. We don't need to go through this too much. This is just extra wires. You know, everyone's got one of these, maybe 2 of these, maybe even 3 of these lying around their room. Most of my extra wires I keep in the closet, but again, space, so I just keep this in a Rubbermaid on this shelf. On the second shelf, I have everything labeled. Again, this is more storage and utility. This is all the Nintendo GameCube controllers and paraphernalia. Obviously, you can see space being an issue. It is starting to get filled up with other items. This is a Golden Tee plug-and-play. I've got a SNES controller right here. There's Nintendo zappers and Wii stuff in there. This has been kept a little cleaner with the exception of the PlayStation Namco gun. This is Sega controllers for the Saturn, Genesis, Dreamcast, and Master System. And then in this smaller white basket here, this is just miscellaneous. This has got those pixel art things that I had on my Christmas tree, a third-party Wii zapper. I've got, adapters for the DS. This is my Wii U GameCube controller adapter. Extra styluses. You know, it's kind of like, this one is kind of like a junk drawer. Like, check this out. This is from when FYE in Plattsburgh closed. I picked this up for 50 cents. This is Gears of War 3 coasters. And again, like, Gears of War 3 coasters? Did I really buy this? Like, even at 50 cents, so this is in the junk drawer? Shelf? Whatever you want to call it. Shelf number 2. On the third shelf, we have the Joker, Batman, Arkham City collectors statuette. This is the one where the televisions light up. Unfortunately, I can't turn it on for you guys because I don't have batteries in it. I don't want battery corrosion, and it sits here as a display item more than it is lit up. This is the Space Invaders mini arcade from the late 70s, early 80s. This was one of the first things, and one of the last things, because I don't do a lot of buying on eBay ever. I got this on eBay for a pretty good deal back in the day before video games were ridiculously overpriced. This is something that my buddy made for me when he finally figured out that I was on YouTube. as a joke, but I like to keep it. This is the Loch Ness Monster official cup. In the back for the 3DS, the Super Mario Bros. 2 tin. We've got a Splatterhouse mask right here. That was another collector's edition item. Came out with the game, I think the PS3 when I got that with. Again, the Skyward Sword robotic skeleton. We have a PSP underneath them. In the back, we have that PSP with the stand. If you guys remember, I showed that to you right around Christmas time. And to the far back, a paperweight that a student gave to me a few years ago with the New York Yankees logo on it. So this is shelf number 3, and again, this was originally the purpose of the shelf to be more of a display, like to have different statuettes on it. But again, like the bottom is just for storage now. On this shelf, guys, again, the light is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to try and hold the camera in the right position so we can see everything. A cheap, little extendable telescoping lightsaber. We picked that up with the Darth Vader mask from a thrift shop. I picked up the Boba Fett helmet without his antenna side for $5 at one of the first thrift stores I ever went to before I was doing Loch Ness Monster stuff on YouTube. My old iPhone 5 Nintendo case, I can't get rid of it. This is a just random pumpkin from The Nightmare Before Christmas. It was thrown in with some toys before, and I liked the way it looked, so I kept it. And this is the collector's helmet bust from Killzone 2 or 3. I'm not entirely sure which one it was from off the top of my head. And speaking of off the top of someone's head, a regular Nintendo baseball cap on top of them. And this is the 4th shelf. And the last shelf, again, trying to use it for display, but it started to turn into just storage. On the right, we have Ninja Gaiden. Collector's edition. That I picked up for $5 from Microju. They couldn't get rid of these things, so I got one fairly cheap, and it did come with the game. Wasn't a fan of the game. My Virtual Boy, my legs don't have the bottom clip for it, so I can never have it standing. That just sits there like that, but I don't hate the Virtual Boy. And here we have another tin just full of miscellaneous crap. There's a Seen It game for Family Guy, a cheap Batman mask in there, Dante's Inferno toy, and a bunch of wires. Going a little higher, I picked this up last year or 2 years ago from a yard sale just to have it. It doesn't have the ring ropes, but I still think it's pretty cool. Not the original, but still nice to have the Rock'em Sock'em robots. And in the back, I have probably my only dumpster diving find. I pulled out an Xbox One Assassin's Creed Edition style box just for the hell of it, just to have as display, and came with a little bit of paperwork and odds and ends, but obviously not the system in it. So this is the top shelf. And that's it for the first episode of Random Shelfies. So again, it's going to be like a mini game room tour, one shelf at a time. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is a good idea and if you actually enjoyed it, so I know to go further with it and show you more of my shelves in the game room. Until next time, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Loch Ness Monster, Gunit the Nordo, taking off.